All right, so today we're going to tackle a huge concept, a really important one, the AI tech stack. Think of it less like a list of parts and more like the actual blueprint for how we build intelligence itself. So, where do we even start? Well, to really get why this new blueprint is so important, we have to ask a pretty fundamental question. Why are the old ways we used to draw tech diagrams, the flowcharts we've used for decades, why are they suddenly completely useless for understanding AI? Yeah, the short answer, it's because those old diagrams are like a snapshot, a single photo. But AI? Well, AI is more like a movie. It's a living, learning system. These old maps just can't show you how an AI learns and changes. They create a ton of confusion, lumping a simple script and a super complex reasoning engine under the same vague term. And here's the kicker. They treat security and ethics like some optional add-on. And in the world of AI, let me tell you, that is an absolute recipe for disaster. Okay, so to get our heads around this, to build a better map, here's the plan. We've kind of touched on why the old maps fail. Next, we're going to unveil this new blueprint, the AI factory. Then we'll take a deep dive inside its 5 core layers, see how it gets customized for the real world, and we'll wrap up with a little peek at what's just over the horizon. Right, let's get into it, our new blueprint. The first thing we have to do is completely change how we think about a tech stack. It's not a shopping list of software anymore. The new way to see it is as an AI factory, a dynamic, living system built for just one thing, to crank out intelligence continuously. And this right here, this is the core of it. It's a fundamental shift in how we think. We're moving away from asking, hey, what tools should we buy? And we're starting to ask, how do we build a system that creates value? It's the difference between just buying a bunch of car parts and actually building an engine that runs, tunes itself, and gets better over time. All right, so let's pop the hood on this AI factory. To make this super easy to visualize, let's imagine it's an AI reactor, right? With all these layers of technology built around a powerful, glowing core. And we're going to start from the very bottom and work our way up. But wait, before we even think about code or hardware, we have to talk about layer 0. This is the real foundation, and it has nothing to do with tech. It's all about people. Do your teams actually have the skills they need? Have you put a clear ethical framework in place? Because without this human layer, honestly, even the most powerful tech stack in the world will just collapse. Okay, so once that human foundation is solid, we can start building layer 1, the factory floor. This is where the raw power lives. We're talking about huge data centers just jam-packed with these specialized AI chips, GPUs and TPUs, that are basically built to do AI math really, really fast. And this layer also includes this idea of sovereign clouds. These are data centers that promise your data will never leave specific countries' borders, which, as you can imagine, is a massive deal for privacy and national security. Next up, layer 2. This is the raw material for our factory, the data. But look, this is not just a dusty old warehouse for files. It's the AI's long-term memory. And the key piece of tech here is something called a vector database. It stores information based on its meaning and context. This lets an AI search for concepts, not just keywords. It's how it knows the difference between Apple, the fruit you eat, and Apple, the company that makes your phone. Now we get to the core. Right in the middle of our reactor is layer 3, the reasoning engine. This is the brain of the whole operation. It's where the big foundation models like GPT-4 or Llama 3 actually live. But it's not just one model. It's more like a whole garden of them. And critically, this layer includes what we call agentic frameworks. That's the software that lets these models do more than just answer questions. It lets them plan, use tools, and actually take action in the world to solve problems. And this is a perfect example of why the words we use matter so much. A bot? That's simple. It just follows a script, like an ATM machine. A Copilot is a bit smarter. It helps a person out, kind of like a really good spell checker. But a true agent, that's a whole different ballgame. It can act on its own to achieve a goal. Think of an AI that can plan and book your entire vacation for you without you giving it step-by-step instructions. These are fundamentally different technologies, and we gotta be precise. Okay, wrapping around that powerful thinking core is layer 4, which you can think of as the immune system. This isn't some firewall you just slap on at the end. No, it's a protective shield that's woven right into the fabric of the AI itself. It's constantly watching the questions going in and the answers coming out, acting like a guardrail to stop bad stuff like data leaks, malicious attacks, or when the AI just starts making things up. And that brings us to the top, layer 5, the value interface. This is what we, the users, actually see and touch. It's the finished product rolling off the assembly line of our AI factory. It's the smart applications, the helpful copilots, the specialized tools for doctors and engineers, all the stuff designed to solve real problems in the real world. So, okay, we've got this awesome 5-layer AI factory. It's a powerful blueprint. But how does this generic model get customized for specific jobs? Let's take a look at how you'd tune this thing for totally different industries, from Wall Street trading floors to a hospital ward. The first thing you have to get is the difference between horizontal and vertical AI. Horizontal AI is like a general purpose tool. It can do something broad, like, hey, summarize this text for me. But vertical AI, that's a deep expert. It understands a whole workflow. So instead of just summarizing text, it's summarize these patient notes, check them against the right insurance codes, and then draft a pre-authorization letter. You see the difference? It's about taking that broad skill and giving it a PhD in a very specific field. So let's take finance. Here, the entire stack is tuned for two things: speed and fairness. Down at layer 1, you've got computers physically located right next to the stock exchange to shave off milliseconds. And up at layer 4, that immune system is working overtime, constantly checking for bias and things like loan applications. And the result? You get these super fast AI agents that can spot fraud the instant it happens. Now switch over to healthcare, and the priorities are completely different. It is all about privacy and clinical accuracy. At layer 1, that patient data is locked down tight in a sovereign cloud. Then at layer 3, you're not using some general purpose model, you're using specialized medical AIs. And that allows you to build amazing things like an AI scribe that can just listen to a doctor's conversation with a patient and automatically and accurately fill out the entire patient chart. And what about manufacturing? Well, here, the AI stack has to get its hands dirty and actually interact with the physical world. This means the AI has to run right there on the factory floor for zero lag. And get this, they're often trained using digital twins, perfect virtual copies of the factory. That way, a robot can learn how to handle a dangerous situation safely in a simulation before ever trying it for real. The final product? An AI that can literally hear when a machine is about to break down and flag it for repair before it fails. Okay, so now we have a really solid map of how things work today. Let's use that map to peer over the horizon and see the massive tech shifts that are headed our way. So here's the really mind-bending part. We're essentially building for two different futures at the same time. First, we have to get ready for quantum computers. That means upgrading our security now to protect today's data from being easily cracked tomorrow. And second, we're moving towards something called the agentic mesh. This is a world where our AI assistants don't just talk to us, they'll find and collaborate with other AIs to get complex jobs done. And that leaves us with one last, pretty provocative thought to chew on. For years, we've been designing AI to be our perfect personal assistants. But the next giant leap isn't about them talking to us, it's about them talking to each other, creating this whole new economy of intelligence that, well, might not need us in the loop at all. What on earth does that future look like? That's the big question this new blueprint finally helps us start to answer.